So what lights fit the USP or the USP compact rail? What lasers fit it and what combinations of both? As most of us know, the USP and USP compact come with proprietary rails that are not industry standard. As you can see, it's kind of just a cut rectangle, and this is similar on both sides. The only difference between the USP compact and USP is the length of this cut, if you want to call it a cut. The USP compact ends about right there. The point is, it's shorter. Stuff that fits the USP won't necessarily fit the USP compact. In fact, there's only, to my knowledge, only one thing that fits both of them, and it only kind of fits the USP compact. I'll go over that a little bit later. This is a light often recommended when people are looking for something to fit the rails of the USP and the USP compact. The light I'm speaking of is the Insight Technologies UTL. There are two variants of this light. Unfortunately, I don't have one here with me. I used to have one and sold it. They had the they didn't call it the M1, but it was essentially the first generation UTL, and later came out with the Mark II. The first generation did not fit the USP compact. The second generation did. However, they made it fit by just changing how it, what kind of attachments it had. I think the first UTL had a bar that went the full length of that rail for the USP. The second one had a cut in it so that when you put it on the shorter USP compact rail, the additional part would hang off the end of it. Like if this was a USP compact, the Mark II UTL would hang off to about where the tweezers are. And that's just a guesstimation. But it didn't. That's why I said it loosely fits the USP compact. It'll work, but it'll look very strange and it'll kill the length dimension of the USP compact. Now, the pros of the UTL are the price. It's usually, I want to say you can find them used easily for about $100. New, it's, you can get them for 150 or something like that. Just off the top of my head, I haven't shot for one in quite a while. Putting it on and taking it off, I thought was one of the pros of the UTL. I'm going to try to show with my hand how it works. The UTL is essentially two clamps, and both just clamp onto this rail. When you put it on and take it off, there's a slider on the right side, and when you put that slider down, it allows this clamp on the right side to move in that direction. Now when you put it on, you'll slide the slider down and you'll kind of grip it onto this side and you'll rotate it around and it'll click onto this one, and you push that slider up and that'll lock the clamp on the right side. To take it off, similarly, you push the clamp down, and I usually had to grab it up here and then rotate it off in that direction. But fairly easy on and off. Putting it on and off a lot on my USP did not damage the rails, so that's a bonus, I think. Now the cons of it, it doesn't really fit the USP compact, which if I had a USP compact, I wouldn't even consider it just because of how it looks. It's only 95 lumens, which isn't bad. I consider it enough, but the industry is starting to get better. The activation I thought was fairly strange. The activation on the UTL was, it's a paddle down here underneath the trigger, and it rotates in this direction and that direction. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I had to kind of use this finger to rotate it whichever direction it needed to go. And I believe to the right it would just serve as a temporary on. You'd push this direction, and if you let go, it would turn off. If you push it to the left, it's a temporary on if you push it a little bit, but if you push it all the way to the left, it'll click into place and stay on until you manually turn it off. I don't like that. Personally, I consider something to not be truly ambidextrous if it changes its behavior in one direction or the other. And I didn't like how going to the right did one way and going to the left did another way. Maybe they changed that on the Mark II. I only had the first generation one, so I don't know, but I'm fairly certain the Mark II would stay the same. Also, that lever was in a strange position, I thought. I had to modify my grip a lot to try to get that finger onto it, because I couldn't find any other way to really activate it. There are limited accessory options for the UTL. The only thing I know of is that you can buy the pressure pad and plug it in, and then wire a pad somewhere wherever you choose, and push on it to activate it. No lasers for the UTL, or combination of the two. Now, laser devices. Part 2, we'll talk about laser devices.